Okay, so now that you know how to use the midterm template, I'm going to review on how to design a controlled experiment from a simple procedure. So this is just from sciencebob.com, and it's a very basic experiment, very simple. You can actually do this at home if you want, as practice and make a huge mess and then blame Miss Knight. But anyway, so this is to build a fizz infillator. And so, as you can see here, you are attaching a balloon to a soda bottle, adding some vinegar, some baking soda, and the gases that are produced as a result of that chemical reaction are going to blow up the balloon. So it's pretty fun, can get messy. Um, so again, feel free to try this. So how would I turn this into a controlled experiment? As you can see here, you have all the materials that you need, and then you even have the procedure. So this is not a controlled experiment because you're not really testing any variables. You're just following a procedure. So this is just a demonstration, okay? It's not really a controlled experiment. So this right here doesn't tell me that you understand how to set up a controlled experiment. I am going to be giving you guys instructions on how to make the solar pizza box oven, but you're going to have to take those instructions, which is really a demonstration, and create a controlled experiment. So you have the procedure. You can even go as far as trying the demonstration before making the controlled experiment. The way that I would make this into a controlled experiment is to change something. So introduce an independent variable. So here they're telling me just basically to use vinegar. So maybe something that I would want to see is, hey, can I use, apple cider vinegar as opposed to white vinegar or distilled vinegar? So I might want to try out to see which type of vinegar is going to create create more of a gas and therefore inflate the balloon more. That is a controlled experiment because I have an independent variable. My independent variable is going to be vinegar type. So if I had apple cider vinegar and distilled white vinegar, I have an independent variable. Now, if you have an independent variable, you also need to have a dependent variable. So here, in this case, since my independent variable is vinegar type, my control variable is what I'm going to be looking out for. What I'm looking out for is to see which vinegar will create oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Which vinegar will create more gas. So I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, the apple cider vinegar is going to be the one to produce the most gas. And so I'm going to use everything is going to be the same. I'm going to keep all of my other variables constant. So I'm going to have the same type of balloon, same type of bottle, same baking soda. Everything is the same. The only thing I'm changing is my independent variable. And the only other thing that should change, if it's a controlled experiment, is a dependent variable. Your dependent variable, you have no control over it. You are simply observing the dependent variable and jotting down your observation. So if we go back to our template, okay, whoops, it's not the right one. This is the right one. Again, the introduction is going to be based on your research. But in your hypothesis, I would write apple cider. And again, I'm just kind of annotating here. I would have more detailed hypothesis, but apple cider vinegar will produce more gas than distilled white vinegar. Let me change this to vinegar here. You all know that Miss Knight can't spell. Okay. So, this is what I would do. I personally would write this down just to see, okay, so this is my independent variable and my dependent variable, the amount of gas. So if I want to change this into a formal hypothesis, you would place this into an if-then statement. So if apple cider vinegar is used in making a fizz inflator, then there will be more gas production than the fizz inflator with distilled white vinegar. So what I did here, I just made some notes, right? I put, okay, this is my independent variable and my dependent variable. I need to include both in my hypothesis. If you do not have both your dependent variable and independent variable in hypothesis, then your hypothesis is not well made, so you need to go back to it. All right, so then I would go over here and see, okay, these are the materials I needed. You're probably going to use similar materials, but you're going to add a few things when you're doing your midterm, just because you are making it your own experiment. So we could just do a simple copy paste, and really all I'm adding, whoa, my Mac is not doing a good job here. Let's see. Control V, or is it Command V? Okay, so having some technical difficulties here. Oh, it's just in white. Okay, for some reason. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so anyway, all I would add here, it's in white writing. I don't know why. Google Docs is not being my friend right now. There it is. Okay, black writing. Okay, all I'm adding is here half a cup of distilled white vinegar, and then there's more up here. Oh my gosh. And I'm adding half a cup, again, you want to keep everything else the same, half a cup of apple cider vinegar. Okay, so everything was kept the same except for my addition of the types of vinegar. Okay, so then the procedure, you're going to have, again, same thing. You're going to have a very similar procedure. You're just going to add in your step of apple cider vinegar and measuring that. Okay, so that is how you would turn a demonstration into a controlled experiment, by adding in some sort of an independent variable that you are going to measure. Okay. Hopefully we have school tomorrow. If we do have school tomorrow, I will actually be going over how to record your results. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm moving this way too much. As well as wrapping in your, or looping in your conclusion to include your hypothesis. All right, so that's it for today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the snow day. See you all tomorrow. Maybe see you on Thursday, hopefully, crossing my fingers. So again, if we're out tomorrow, I will have another video or two. So just be on the lookout.